Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this coursework discussion. We are focusing on consultancy as a course unit, and amidst the team, I have myself, Vincent Kaoya Kalungi, we have Mutebi Mastula, Mpala Christopher Luvega, Kumwire Meron, Nate Ayebare, and Isaiah Sewanyana. We'll be discussing and touching on quite a number of themes under consultancy, including proposal writing, contract, stakeholder analysis, and future benefit selling. I now invite my first colleague to make a presentation on the contract. Welcome, Chris. Thank you. Chris, you're on, please. You're on mute, Chris. You're on mute.
A contract is an agreement between two or more people, and it is legally binding. I'm not seeing the screen. Okay, go ahead. A contract, Lynette, proceed ahead. Yes, classifications of a contract. A contract is classified in two or three categories. One, it is by writing and oral, but the major all express, those are the two types. Then by action, we have voidable contracts. Proceed ahead. Okay, we have key elements of a contract. One, acceptance. Sorry, one, acceptance. The contract, the promiser promises a contract, promises something to sell on the market. Then a promisee comes in and accepts. That is what we call acceptance. Offer. Offer, this is where a promiser makes an offer in the market and a promisee comes in to take that offer. Awareness. The two parties in the contract must understand what they are going to do in the contract. Everybody must be aware of in the two parties to execute the contract. Consideration. Any contract to stand as a contract, there must be a price. There is a price for a product or item that is in the contract or service. Capacity. The parties to the contract must have sound mind, attained the age, which is in Uganda, it is 18 years. Legality. The item that a contract is intending or is talking about, for example, if it is a car, it must be, that item must legally be allowed to be traded in. Go ahead. A free consent, it is missing there, but free consent, it is missing. Okay. Free consent, the parties to the contract must have free consent. They must not be coerced or induced or misrepresented to the contract. All of them must agree with their free consent. Move ahead. I think my colleague can come up with this proposal writing. There was on types of contract, forms of contract, and elements of a contract. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Isaiah, you're on.
Yes. Okay, greeting members. I'm Isaiah Sewanyana Musana. I'm going to deal with project proposal. To go by definition, a project proposal is a document used to tell what is going to happen with a project. That project might be internal or external. Some of the things included in a project proposal might be what the date project is going to start, the date project is going to start, the proposer expects to make things up. Okay, when we go to the solicited and formally solicited, supplemental and renewal. Now we have the steps taken when writing a proposal. And we have the executive summary, which deals with what is going to happen with a given project. Objectives, what you expect to do in the projects. Normally they start to given project. Causes of the problem, you have to list what some major causes of that problem statements are. Then strategies, how you're going to deal with them, outcomes, this and normally like the objectives, activities, what you're actually going to do in that given project, then sustain to how you're going to make your project sustain itself, then the budget, the money you need to make the project stand, and then monitoring. That's where we come in from. Thank you. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much, Isaiah. I now invite Meron to take over on future benefit selling.
Okay, good morning, members. This is Meron presenting selling the benefit. So when we are selling the benefit in consultancy, we are talking about the human resource, the environment, the software, marketing, and sales consultancy. But here we shall basically be focused on selling on sales. So when you're talking about the selling benefit, we are going to first identify the main issues, the features, the benefits, then after we combine the selling of benefits. So when you say the features, we refer to attributes offered to a client by a product or a service. Then the benefits are the consequences or the outcomes a client experienced by using a product or a service. Here we talk about if we are designing in software, if we are designing a feature like an automatic fill-offs. So if you are selling that feature to a client, you first identify, is it going to be of use to a client, or how is it going to help someone driving that car? If it is, then you look at the advantages and the disadvantages. Then we are now going to talk about how to use a feature selling benefit. You first study. I think that part is missing on our presentation, but we are going to add it on later. You first study a product or a service feature. Here you have to understand the feature that makes a product so unique. You identify the benefits of the feature a product offers. Those are the steps. Then this you make sure, or This will make you easily connect to clients between the feature and the results of having access to such results. Then you start asking by questions, or now you draw your questionnaires and you ask your clients or the targeted group to know if it is of the use to them. Then you locate the customer needs. After the customers or clients answers exploratory questions, you can use their response to locate their needs. Then you'll be looking for a specific product or service. Then you make connections for your clients. When trying to make connection, use the customer needs you identify and evaluate whether the existing feature can present a benefit that may address those needs. Those are the steps we go through when selling a benefit. Thank you. Let's continue with someone else.
All right, thank you, Meron. I'll now invite Lynette to proceed with the presentation.
Thank you, Vincent. I'll be giving the advantages of feature benefit selling, and I'll go with one. It helps the client understand the value of your service. When you explain to your customer your features and benefits, they're able to understand what value you're going to bring on the table. Then it builds trust and credibility between the consultant and the customer. It provides a clear focus since everything is stated clearly, and then it makes negotiations more productive. It helps you differentiate from the competition. It makes you different when you lay your features and benefits for the customer. You're different from the rest that are doing the same service. The other thing, there is clarity. When you state your benefits and features for your customer, there is clarity in that they're able to see and know what you're going to bring on the table. Then customization, persuasion. It helps you persuade customers. That's bringing more customers into your business. Then it differentiates you from the rest that are doing the same service, and also it provides confidence with the customer and the consultant as well. Then I'll scroll down to the examples of feature benefit selling. Here we'll be giving a feature and a benefit that comes from that feature. There is comprehensive analysis of data. This one it helps in improved decision making and better insights into business performance. Then the other feature is experienced team of consultants. The benefit from this is having good knowledge when you have an experienced team of consultants. Then the other feature is tailored solutions to meet specific needs. The benefit from that is increased efficiency and effectiveness in addressing client issues. The other feature is flexibility in pricing and contract terms. The benefit from that is that you get more favorable terms and conditions and better alignment. The other feature is proven track record success benefit, and the benefit from that, will be better alignment and also trust in the consultant's ability to deliver results. The last feature will be access to a broader network of industry, and the benefit from that is the greater opportunities for collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome.
I'll now proceed to please proceed to the next slide, kindly. I'll now proceed to stakeholder analysis, and I'll start by defining who a stakeholder is. A stakeholder is a person or organization with an interest in a specific issue or who is affected by a certain issue. It includes any person or group that the project will impact, including the investors, advisors, sponsors, team members, and current or future customers. A case in point, in case it's a road construction, the contractors, the government who is funding the road, the political entities, among others. Then for stakeholder analysis, this is the process of identifying, assessing, and prioritizing the people who will be affected by your project or business. And this can be ranked according to area of priority, but also those will be affected more and those will be affected less. And the purpose of stakeholder analysis, it is mainly to outline the key stakeholders and their needs at the start of the project. It is important to have a clear understanding of each stakeholder and what they expect, especially because some stakeholder needs and expectations may collide with others, or with the project's core requirements. Next slide, please. I'll also discuss the importance of stakeholder analysis. One, it helps identify individuals and groups that may be impacted by the project. Getting to understand who will be actually affected by the road construction is kind of key to be able to allow for future programming and future planning. It ensures that all affected parties are recognized and duly considered, which is straightforward. It also helps us better understand the people involved, the issues that matter to them, and their expectations and needs. A case in point, when making a road mapping, by understanding what the actual issue is in terms of access, the entity can be able to understand where the road should be able to pass and based on the needs of the actual clients. Then group people based on their levels of interest and influence to strategically target your engagements. This is more of a political move, but also allows for conquering interest for the different stakeholders. By understanding who is up there on the quorum, you're able to understand who to consult in terms of someone to allow for decision making and also influence at the same time. Then reveal how different groups interact and how those interactions may help or harm your interests. Recognize your key stakeholders, especially those with the most interest and those with the less interest in the project, to allow for who to approach first and who to approach last. Then uncover potential risks, issues, or misunderstandings that could disrupt the project. Here you come up with an issues log and a risk log to allow for tackling most of these issues. If it's a road construction, it could be aspects of rain, aspects of stealing road construction materials, aspects of crisis in terms of people fighting when the road is being done, among others. Then proactively addressing concerns to secure social acceptance and improve outcomes. For most of these social acceptance is key. And thus having the populations accept and own up the entity would be quite key, including road construction. Thank you very much. I now call upon the next presenter, Astula, to make a presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Vincent. I greet you all, member. Yes, I'll be presenting on the factors to consider in determining who your stakeholders will be. That is using a stakeholder analysis. The first factor to consider is the financial interest. You need to see whether who is going to lose what. Is the client going to lose any or gain any money? That will help you know how to deal with that stakeholder. Then another thing is the moral and the ethical value attached to the
video.
Sorry. The project you are bringing on board. The moral, let's say the people of the homosexuals, is the society accepting the project you're bringing to them? Then the rights, is your project having any effect on the rights of the clients you're having? That will help you determine who your stakeholders are. We can talk of the social, the healthy, and the safety of the people. How are they being affected by the project? Then the other thing is the religious beliefs. Does your project have any effect on anyone's religion? You're coming in, you're saying you're distributing as a social responsibility. You're giving back to the people. You're bringing in the pigs to the Muslim community. Will the Muslims welcome that project you're bringing to them? Then the political opinion. This is very important, that whenever you're looking at your stakeholders, you must ensure that the political leaders are in consent with what you're bringing. If they oppose your project, it will in a way be affected. So you need to know how to handle them as your stakeholders. Still need to look at the business interest. The project is being put in place. I'll give an example. You're bringing a school in place. The people around, will they make business? If they're like, they are going to sell those with stationery, those are making uniforms, those will be interested. They have a high interest in your project. Then the knowledge. People need to know about your project. If they do not have knowledge, they need to first know and understand the project such that they can know whether to be part of it or not. So if people are not aware of what you're bringing on board, what the project is about, you will never know how to handle them, and they will never know how to react to your project. Then the demographics. That is something to do with the age, I'll talk of the sex, the income, the access. You need to know like the project, is it in line with the age group? Will that age welcome it? I will say like you're bringing in a project, you're going to use the online, but you're dealing with some elders who can't even use the internet. Then the other thing is the environmental part of it. Does the project have an effect on the environment? You want to put up a factory, but you're cutting down the trees. And are people going to accept? Is that project of yours going to be accepted? Then the other thing is the value of ownership. The stakeholders, for you to determine your stakeholders, is someone losing anything because of that project? Like he was giving an example of the road construction. Yes, you're going to bring a road in the community. It's helping them all. But someone is going to be displaced. They're going to lose their home. Are they going to be happy with your project? You have to know how to handle such people who are losing something valuable because of your project. Then the communication preferences. How are you communicating to these people? There are some people who would prefer to have a face-to-face meeting for you to discuss with them about the project. And there are those you can do online, like we are having a Zoom now. Not everyone will be comfortable with a Zoom meeting, but some people will be. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Then the other thing we talk about is how we going to identify our stakeholders. And this, we are using an expression of the stakeholder analysis or grade of the power influence. We have some people who have high power and low interest, or they have high influence and they have low interest. We have those who have low interest and low influence. We have those with the high power and high influence, high interest. So those with the high influence or power and low interest, we need to keep those people satisfied. And those with the low interest and the low influence, we need to monitor those people. And those with the high influence and high interest, we need to ensure that we manage them closely. And those with the high interest and the low influence, we need to keep those people informed. I'll explain the details of those 4 groups in the next slide down. The stakeholders with high influence and the high interest, these are mainly the funders of your project, the sponsors. That's why you have to ensure that these people are always satisfied, because if they don't agree with with anything you're doing, they withdraw their support from you. So they are very crucial stakeholders that you need to have to make sure that they are satisfied. Then the other thing is the ones with high influence and low interest. we would look at those people with high interest, especially the your executive people in the company. They are not directly involved in whatever you're doing, but what you do as you're implementing your project has an effect on their work they do. So you need to make sure you go on informing them of what you're doing at every step of the way. I'll assume you are like a subordinate, then the people at higher in position to you, they may not be involved directly in what you do, but they do report on your work. So they need to be informed. Then the other category of the low influence and high interest, these are the people, I'll talk of the people interested, like the business people. If we talk of like our university in Kumba, the border surrounding fall in such a category, because they will be transporting the people coming to the university and those living, and also the people having stationary shops around there. Those are people with low influence but have a high interest, because they are gaining something from the being of the university in place. Then we have another category of the low influence and low interested. These ones, you just need to ensure that they are monitored on a daily basis, because you never know. They don't know whether to be part of it or not, but at a later stage, they might pick interest and try to get involved. They are like the secondary stakeholders. So that's what I had to talk about stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you, Mastula, and thank you, everyone. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for sparing time on a Sunday to make this recording. Others are quite far Fort East, but then you all made time to attend this after a series of recording attempts. I also want to thank our other colleagues, including Tracy and Guy, for joining us on this recording, as well as our lecturer, Mr. Bylon. Thank you so much for taking time to attend. And I want to wish you all a blessed Sunday. Keep safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye.